Here we have a new 2023 Honda Odyssey. This one comes in the sport trim level in radiant red metallic, and then we get black leather interior. And the powertrain consists of a 280 horsepower, 3.5 liter, naturally aspirated V6, mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And coming around the front end here, love this look. We get LED headlamps, LED daytime running lights, as well as LED fog lights. And did a great job with the gloss black. Have it around the fog lights as well. Super, super slick job. Coming around the wheels here, also in gloss black, 19 inches. Get the black mirror caps as well. Passive keyless entry on the front two doors. And then over here we have our memory seat functions, controls for our power mirrors, excuse me. You can pick a side there and rotate or turn them off there. Power door lock controls, rear window lock, and then we get all four windows having power automatic one touch up and down. The storage pocket here, cup holder, bottle holder, additional storage. We have our power sliding rear doors here. We can turn those off from the front. And then we have our safety system toggle there, power lift gate, traction control, electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down and disengage, automatic brake hold. And then here we have our power driver's seat with power lumbar support. And love the red stitching, how it goes with that black leather as well. Kind of with that same look as the van itself. And also, I like that they did not do chrome with this. It's only down here we have that kind of black gloss look that goes throughout. And this one also comes with optional tinted windows from the dealer. But great leg space back here. I'm 6'3", seat up front's adjusted for someone of my size. Knees are not touching the back at all. Seat pockets on both sides is nice. 2 cup holders, 2 USB-A inputs, and then this middle seat, when folded down, 2 cup holders, then you have like a smaller bottle holder there, which was great. And then additional storage in the back there. And to fold this up, you pull this, then push up on the seat, and then it turns into a regular seat. Then you just hit that again, and then bear with me, it'll fold down. But if you want even more usability, check this out. Pull up here, you can actually remove this seat, and then when it's removed, you can either leave it like it is, or you can slide using this here. You pull up on this lever, and you can slide either side closer together towards the middle. So if you want to, you can have this space empty, both the seats over there, and it's easier to get to that third row. But you also have the ability to do this and just hop back in here. So let's check out this leg room, the third row. So you just saw I was sitting in that seat, and now my knees are just barely touching the back of the seat here in the third row. Seat back pockets on both sides. Living the life back here, even in this Odyssey minivan. And then AC vents on either side here. And then we have 2 cup holders and a storage tray on both sides as well. And then pretty easy to get out of here. So bear with me as I punch out, though. I don't want to drop the mic. But I want to give a huge shout out to Darrell Waltrip Honda for allowing me to review this van today. We're going to take a quick look at the window sticker. All the standard equipment and features. Y'all can go back or pause if you need to. But you get so much standard, and then the only thing you're paying for is the paint. And then you have that sticker price. Now this one, like I said, it does have a few added options. So you get low jack for 3 years, the tinted glass up front, certain door cups or something. But I mean, still, for that money, you get so much with this van. Capless fuel filler here. And then coming around to the back end, we do get LED tail lights. I'm gonna pop the trunk here. And tons of storage behind the third row, the deep. And then you also have additional pockets for stuff that you want to keep in the trunk, but you don't want it to slide around. And then there's a 12 volt here. And you can also just fold these seats flat. And then you can fold, I'll show you how you fold that second row flat in a minute. But what's really neat is you do get the magic seat here. So all you have to do is pull up, and then you pull the switch there, which is kind of hard to do, but then it'll fold down on the floor. These floor mats are in the way, so it won't fold flat now, but you can fold that, and then you have all of this additional space for storage, and then you can still ride with 5 passengers up front. And then really easy to get back into place there. So that was pretty impressive to me, at least. And then as we come around to the rear passenger side, like I said, if you want that folded down, all you have to do is hit this here, and that'll fold pretty much flat as well. And then you can also still tilt it, or if you want to, you could slide that to the middle or leave that flat and you can run longer objects. There are just so many options in terms of what you can do, whether you have storage or passengers or both. Then over here, front passenger seat also has power with power lumbar. Lockable glove compartment here, owner's manuals in here, decent sized glove box. But I'm going to turn the headlights on so y'all can see that, and then I'm also going to pop the hood so we can just take a quick look in the engine bay. Headlamp controls here, fog lights are on. So the hood's popped, of course, but that's what the headlights look like when they're on. So like I said, quite a premium look for under 50 grand in my opinion. And it's mostly covered up. There's that trusty 3.5 liter V6. And now let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So leather wrap steering wheel here. Love the feel, and I love that it doesn't feel glossy like a lot of other ones do. Like this feels like real leather. Very impressed here. And over to the radio, we do get AM, FM, and then we also have XM radio, Bluetooth audio, and then Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and then we also have a USB and an aux input as well for just normal audio. And then you can go to all apps here and actually go through everything there. But this system is really easy to use. I like Honda systems, specifically in the trims that aren't top tier, that have a bunch of extra stuff, because they're just simple. So I can go into Bluetooth, connect the device, easy to do. And then there you have it. Or I can just go into settings and then go to connections. Just makes sense. And we can adjust the screen brightness here, hitting that. I like that we can just toggle that. So I can turn it off, hitting it 3 times. And then I can actually, if I hit it once, set the brightness. So that is, like I said, it's just, all this makes sense. And then we have a volume knob here, so you can just adjust the volume there, and then you can just tap it to turn the audio off. Dual zone automatic climate controls are down here. You can adjust that on either side, and then you can hit this rear climate button and just be able to control that from either down here, or you can use the touchscreen as well, set the auto mode, so on and so forth. Then you can cut the whole system off and go back to front climate there. And then again, you can use the touchscreen if you want to, but I like that all the buttons I need are right here. I don't have to go into a screen. I can turn the system on and off. Just makes a lot of sense, and it's really easy to do. And then down here, we have 3-stage heated seats for the driver, front passenger, auto stop toggle, snow mode toggle, econ drive mode. Hazards are here, which is a weird spot, but I'm glad it's over there by itself. And then you have the passenger airbag indicator as well. And then for that 10-speed, hit P for park, hit the brake, pull that down for reverse, hit here for neutral, and then tap here for drive. And then you can toggle the sport mode, and then toggle back to drive. And then we'll show the backup camera here. So I like that we have the wide angle, then we have the normal angle, and then the close-up angle there, kind of like a trailer hitch view. So if you ever need that. And then down here, the USB charge port, and then a 12 volt here. And then I like that we have this storage spot in here for purses or handbags or whatever, because this is really useful for a lot of moms that tend to be driving these most of the time. And then we have cup holders here, center console cubby space, a USB port, and then an aux input, and that's all for your radio down in there. It's kind of hidden, but still pretty usable space even in that small spot. And up here, sunglasses holder, and of course use it as a visor to watch the kids in the back. And then let's check out this sunroof. So it is power, one touch, tilt, and slide open and shut. And I like that I don't have to hold it for the tilt as well. It's just super simple. I've just been quite impressed with this van the whole time I've been reviewing it. It's full of surprises. Quick look at the back seat from up here. And I think I forgot to mention the rear AC controls. So you can turn those on, fan speed, cut the fan off, and then you can pick a mode, auto mode, temperature, all that. But back to the steering wheel, we can use this to go through our gauge cluster. These two arrows here, the home button and the back button. So that's what we use to go through all of our settings. And then you can turn on the safety support, the trip computer. I like to leave that up so I can see the distance I'm traveling. And then we can use this enter button as well for that. And then this goes through our track list or radio station presets, and then volume controls here. Voice recognition, Bluetooth. Then to the right side, adaptive cruise, lane centering, and then regular cruise controls here just to set it and increase speed, and then the gap adjust for the cruises here. Blinkers there, headlamp controls, high beams, flash to high beams, fog lights, and then to the right side, one time on the windshield wiper, intermittent, low, high. Then we can adjust our intermittent here, and then our rear wiper we can adjust here. Pull either way for the rear wiper fluid, and then push up here for the front wiper fluid. But next it's time to go ahead and take this 2023 Honda Odyssey Sport out on the road for a quick test drive. So behind the wheel of the Odyssey, so far so good in terms of the driving. I don't know if I conveyed it well enough, but this van is so impressive just in terms with all of the features you get. And then on top of that, all of the safety tech that you get as well. But everything, it goes to show you that this is one of the older vans just in terms of how long it's been around. And it hasn't necessarily been revamped, it's been redesigned and all of that, but they didn't take it away and bring it back and all that. So I'm just impressed with the storage, everything on this van. And on top of that, glad that they did not try to stick a CVT in this Odyssey. And also like that the 10-speed is in here as well. And that definitely helps with the highway fuel economy. But there's something about just having a traditional transmission as well. Even if you're not going to have a spirited drive, I like having the option to put it in the sport mode and then shift with the paddles. And even though it's not snappy, it gets the job done. And overall, especially under little to no throttle, the van itself is pretty quiet. And the acoustics within the van are very well insulated. Even though it's quite windy out right now, I feel like I'm in almost an echo chamber. But if I have 6 kids in the back, that can be a good thing or a bad thing. So they'll either be screaming my ears off and I can hear everything, but if I need to talk to them, I know that they can hear me. Now, in terms of just how the van drives overall, this is one of the best driving Hondas ever, in my opinion. Now, most minivans drive pretty well anyways, but this actually, it drives like the Honda Pilot in the sense that, of course, it has the same powertrain, but it's easy to drive. I don't feel like there's a huge learning curve. I don't feel like I have to worry as much about having a longer vehicle, especially if I'm going from like an Accord to this or something. I don't feel like it'll be any sort of issue for most people. The steering feels good. It's not tight, but it's also not terrible. When I think of terrible, I think about the 2018 RAV4s. Just cannot stand the steering in those. This feels like an Accord. Not 100%, but close enough. Now I have it in sport mode. I'm gonna give it just a bit of throttle getting on the interstate before I put it into economy. Yeah, the van just has a lot of power. And 280 is quite a bit for something like this, and the 10-speed does a good job at divvying it out. I'm gonna put it back into drive and then put the econ on. And then lane centering, cruise control, blind spot monitor is going off there. You can see that. But Honda's safety system is pretty good, pretty much on par with Toyota's, just with the lane centering and the adaptive cruise. And like Toyota, I feel like it's a lot easier to find these with this equipment on, even models that are a few years older, as opposed to looking at some Chevys, Fords, even Chryslers. It's hard to come, you know, through the chip shortage. Some vehicles had it, others came standard, but when you got to the store, it was taken off, and so you don't have that issue here. Now, in terms of the competition, the Pacifica, the Sienna, for me, I feel like this is the best out of the few minivan options that are left, just because the overall usability, for me at least, I feel like this is the better of at least the two that I mentioned. And then of course you have the Kia Carnival as well. I'm sure I'm forgetting one other one or two, but especially for the money too, you can get up to 50K plus for a similarly equipped Pacifica, probably even a Sienna. You don't get the hybrid powertrain like you would in a Pacifica hybrid or the Sienna, but you're still getting about the same in terms of highway fuel economy. And if you don't do a lot of city driving, that's really not going to make a big difference if you are able to plug it in or if you have that battery sometimes. But for me, this is just a really, really good option. It checks all the boxes and then some. So this will bring me to the end of my review of the new 2023 Honda Odyssey Sport.